Everybody sees me in that camera, correct?
Yep. Yes.
I'm orange, red, and yellow. That means I'm the hottest thing in the video. I'm not being... Right, let's go modesty. So everything around me should be blue and black, right? Because that means that's the coldest things in there. This is set up to white, hot, black, cold. So if you take me out of the video, it's going to fluctuate based on what is inside that screen. So now the tree above me should be orange, red, and yellow, and it'll fluctuate back to black and blue. So what are we looking for here? We're looking for those blue spots to start moving on their own. I will show you guys a video later when it's not so loud and crowded, and that way you have a point of reference, where I actually caught two spirits walking when there was a person in view, and they should have been the same temperature, but the two heads that walked past the wall were complete black. So I will show that to you guys later. You're literally going to be watching where the blue is, and if anything starts moving on its own. And again, you'll be the first person to watch that video that I'm going to show you later. So you're going to hold that horizontal all night. You're going to be my cameraman. So we're also going to hear your entire conversation because it records audio too. So now, if the red square turns to a circle, I need you to let me know, and then you're going to be the jerk, because then I have to splice videos together, and it takes me way longer. So you have to make sure not to hit that red square. We'll just all call you a jerk. That's really the only problem.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, no, it happens.
That ain't gonna bother me.
All right, so.
Don't hit the red square.
I'm just trying to figure out where the camera is, so I don't stick my hand in front of it the whole time.
Spirit boxes. Who wants to tell me what that is, since you guys are so hip to everything?
So I surely did not know.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
See? This is why I asked. So, spirit boxes allow us to communicate with the dead in different ways. So this is where the TV shows have that annoying static, and then they give you a phrase of what they think they want you to tell. Yeah, it's those suggestive thought. You're going to be doing this in real time. That's the real time. So this one in particular, I have it set up to FM radio station, and I also have it slowed down. So kind of remember what you've seen on the TV shows. It's all static.
Yes.
It's just super fast. I want the radio chatter to come through. You guys aren't used to listening to this. So I want those radio DJs, the commercials, those kind of things that actually come through. You're going to tell me what those things say, if you can make it out. That's how this is going to go. This one does not record anything, because she said the spirits were already with her all the time. So this one literally has a button to turn it on right down here, and then there's a toggle switch. This is only buffer on here, so if you hold it just like I am, it's easier to turn on. That's a new speaker for us, so we're trying to test it out. It's much louder than the last one. We couldn't hear anything on it. So this spirit box is a little different. So this one is going to record the entire radio sweep for us. How cool is that? It's not going to record any of us. No outside noise. So even when this guy is on mute, it's the same principle. We're going to be listening for radio DJs, commercials, song lyrics, whatever we can make out. It is FM, not AM. I've been wanting to test AM, but I think I'm going to do that on one of my own investigations before I throw it out at you guys. So this one I'm going to set to record, and you will get this full audio back. I did a little test this morning because my last guest on my last tour last night, they asked if I can actually combine this onto the video to see when we're asking questions if the answers come through. It's possible, but it is very difficult to listen to because you get everybody's chatter and this guy. So again, I'm going to continue playing with that, but for now you're going to get this separated. So you two have been kind of my chatting Cathy's. So we're going to go with the two of you on this.
That's the third time my car's gone by.
Again,
I'm good at multitasking. Just let me know.
there's one button you need to worry about. It's a turn wheel here at the top.
Yeah.
You just turn it up and down. Again, you control the volume. So when I'm talking, I'm not a big screamer, shouter kind of person. So
When do I turn it up and down?
I'll say spirit boxes up when we're ready for spirit boxes. There's cues for everything.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been doing this for over a year. I realize everybody needs direction when they're playing with stuff they don't have any idea what it is. So we want to debunk what Jeff finds on his. It's Jeff, right?
Yeah.
I got that right. Look at me, guys. I need an applause.
Proud of him.
So this guy actually
I know how to work that
measures surface temperature. Okay. So I don't know what the temperature is between the gun and the red dot. That's where this guy comes in. So let's say Jeff is standing where I am. By the way, where's my skeptic? Two spirit boxes. Got it. Okay, so Jeff says, hey Nick, there's a blue spot on the wall. I can't figure out what it is. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure the entire wall is the same temperature. I now know that that blue spot is between Jeff and the wall. that make sense now? So that's where this guy comes into play, and it gives us temperature on the bottom down here at the anus. So you're going to be teamed up with the temp team. So the bottom number gives us temperature. She's literally going to use the probe at the top to try to find exactly where that cold spot is. We're going to debunk things first. It's not as super active on this one, but this one you're going to help him verify what those crosshairs on his screen are.
All right.
Our first location.
Now when you hit the button, it literally points the laser, it gives you the temp of the surface.
It's kind of a practice area. It is haunted. It just doesn't have a long history. So it's a very quick, here's what's happening here, and I literally bounce around with all of you to kind of give you more tactics and more things to do with your device. It's not I'm getting you toys and let's go play. There's tactics. Let's see what we got next.
Cool. I have one.
Yeah, this one right here. He's got
The reason why I'm picking you on this one is because you haven't said a word since you even got here, which means you're somewhat responsible and you're the absorber. So, but this is the neuralizer from Men in Black. I'm going to need you all to stare right there. Some of you did it.
I know. I'm in. He said both of us were the chatty Cathy. You know that you were talking.
Everybody notice who's talking right now. So this is really a grid pen. So
Look at you, Joey. You got the space cadet.
So, what does this actually do? It helps us see things we can't see with the naked eye. You can't see those lasers until something passes through it.
Oh.
One of the reasons why I chose you is because I need to know where you're at all times. Because you don't say anything. And you're going to have blinky lights. So, again, I'm going to need these to stay on the ground. These can get Nick in handcuffs. That's how serious this is. Okay. So it shoots very, very far. I can probably shoot it all the way up to Harris Teeter and see it very clearly. That's how strong they are. So what happens with this guy? In case something actually passes through it, it's going to be fast. It's not going to go, woo, I'm right here, say hello. It's literally going to be super quick. So there's tool number one.
Don't break it.
Yeah, those are actually hard to come by now, believe it or not. Amazon stopped selling them, so that means I have to go to an outside resource.
There is a cool laser on Amazon that shoots super far, kind of like that. It makes the same pattern. It's like $20.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's I think Ghost Stop, the other company I go through, is what makes this one. I think they're charging $30.
Oh, jeez.
This one gives us red squares. So what's so unique about this guy? In the event we actually capture something right here, I can then put it into 3D software and you'll have a full view all the way around of what we caught. Does that make sense?
Wow.
Now I haven't caught anything with this one yet. So it is relatively new to the tour. I've only had it for a few months and this stuff takes time. So hopefully, yeah, you get both.
Wow,
That's you, man.
jeez, kid.
Don't cross the streams, you'll get dizzy. Aha, y'all got my ghost hostage. Love it. Alright. Uh-oh.
We're already breaking stuff.
What did you drink?
It was my jewel.
Oh.
We're
Picture
playing
taker.
right now.
I don't hand this to people younger than me because they don't know what it is.
Are you assuming she's old?
I'm assuming she's my age.
Rolling her own.
I'm assuming she's my age.
She's our sister.
There's no flash on this, guys. There's a reason for that. I don't want any false positives. I told you guys my wife does the graphic design work and photography for Stories in a Cemetery, so when I get something, it goes to her. It's not just me that says, oh, that looks weird, let's post it. It goes to her to verify. I have gotten some weird light stuff that she's like, oh, that's the shadow because it bounced off of this and they were moving the camera. So then she'll tell me, okay, debunked. I only give you guys solidified evidence. Again, you're normally going to take 2 pictures of everything you do. With the lasers, you guys are kind of the team. We want the picture to go through the laser, so in case Joey in case Joey misses something in real time, you'll have it here on the camera. So take as many as you like. I just don't like to go through 500. That's a lot of work.
Okay.
So 200, 300, 400 is fine, just not 5.
Okay.
Here's the cutoff.
What else is in the Santa bag?
That looks like a Mary Poppins bag.
Like Santa. Stick with the male gender, okay?
Just keep
Put me on. I don't have an umbrella. I'm not floating around town. EMF meters. So these guys are really out of things. All right, so everybody has something new, except for the 2 of you, right?
Well, I don't have anything. Yeah, he's pointing
What
at
you
you.
do? Yeah. So the spirit box is because that one's
Oh,
recording.
we're a team?
Yeah. Well, that
Okay.
one's recording, so you can still help her out, but I'm going to hand this off to you.
Oh.
I'm going to show you how to use it because they do use these on your TV shows, but they don't ever explain them. So it actually measures 3 different types of electromagnetic fields. The first one is natural. It comes from the Earth. That's why it's green. It's not doing anything. The second one is from our devices. So cell phones, wiring, parking meters are going to make it go into a pulse. We don't want that either. Okay? We're going to try to debunk pulses first. There's always going to be a rhythm. We want it to go crazy like a Christmas tree. I mean, it should be erratic all over the place. There's no rhythm, there's no rhyme or reason why it's doing what it is. Then we actually have something. So you need to speak up and help listen to her advice. So again, sorry, but I need two people focused on that one.
Usually breaking us at anything.
Okay.
So just keep my phone away.
Well, I use a backup on my phone. So in case that one drains. Yeah.
A real problem.
I'm going to use a couple of things on my phone. So I do use a backup EMF in case we have battery drainage and we need something in a pinch. I do carry extra batteries with me. So the bag isn't just filled with empty cases. There is extra stuff in there. And we are going to talk about COVID, even though I forgot. I'm going to use one spare box on my phone that actually puts words in the center of the screen. Okay, so we already have tearing apart. I don't know what that means. 80% of this is absolute bullshit. Doesn't mean a damn thing. It is going to save it to a full list for us. The last tour had actually over 100 words, which is quite a bit for a 90-minute tour. I normally get about 50 to 60. So, it was active. They did have a lot of stuff that was relevant. Again, 80% of it doesn't mean anything. You might have 2 to 5 to 7 words that might actually mean something to the location where we're at, something related to one of y'all, or me, or the tour itself. So it just depends. I'm only going to highlight words for you that I can verify. So I will tell you where I'm getting my data from, and you'll have a link to go to, whether it was an article I wrote with resources or one of those direct resources itself. So again, I'm going to be giving you lots of reading material with all of your stuff. It's going to be pretty lengthy. So it's going to look like this big long page, but it's going to have all these links for you to go further. So that way you guys can dive into your data a little bit more. So the second one I'm going to use is called a reverse spirit box. So reverse spirit box, I debunked this one as well. I already told you the first one is 80% stupid. This one is literally a man and a woman saying random words. I don't know how long the loop is, and they flip the audio backwards. So I obviously analyze EVPs, and I have the software for that, so I threw it in there and played it forwards, and then that's all I heard. I recorded it for over an hour. I did not hear the same word twice. So it's an interesting app, and I do get quite a bit from it. But I am going to turn it up just so you guys can get the gist of what it sounds like, because that's what you're going to hear on your regular audio. This is the way I communicate. So when we're in a location and I feel like everybody's good, we kind of separate off. You'll see that. We're going to stay in the location so I can see everybody, but I'm going to be doing my own thing and staying away from these two teams of spare boxes. So this one's a little weird. I'll go down the line. Sorry, we have some traffic on there. It's a little creepy. A few weeks ago, I actually caught an EVP, strongest one I've ever caught with this particular device. I am going to play it for you just so you can see how I put all the clues together the next morning. Now, when I was talking and trying to get some answers from this particular area, the EVP didn't make any sense to me. So I'm going to play it for all of you guys just so you guys can get a gist of it. Where is it? Catch it? Breakfast. So here's what happened. Your spirit box said, "I'll fix you," baked beans breakfast, and then the word list gave me the word tea, all within 2.5 minutes of each other. I didn't catch it till the next morning. I obviously caught baked beans breakfast in real time, but that is actually a breakfast over in the UK. And I was talking about a woman that was originally from England during that time. So now you can see how I look at this stuff as a collective when I have to go to the timestamps and see what matches up. So it's a pretty long sentence that came through 3 different devices. Makes complete sense now. So that's why I still use the reverse spirit box. And I've been using it for probably 2.5, 3 years now. That's the strongest one I've ever had. And it just happened a few weeks ago. So pretty cool stuff. All right, so we start here. Oh, COVID crap. Sorry, not a fan of COVID, as you can tell. So I did ask all of you to bring masks. If I have to get close to you guys based on your device, I will mask up for you. I do have epilepsy. It's very hard for me to keep it off more than 15 minutes at a time. So there'll be certain areas that are a little bit more popular than others, and I'll say let's mask up. Does everybody have one? Because if not, I have extras. Jeff, do you have one? So again, I'll ask everybody to mask up when we're in more popular areas, and then I'll usually have it hanging from my ear. All of your devices are sanitized, as you guys already know that. And then I do have hand sanitizer and extra masks in case somebody's rubber band breaks or something crazy happens. So I have this all covered on all fronts. They are handing out tickets for no masks at $100 in the morning. So again, I'm not paying for tickets. Tour groups, mixed company. So again, I'm the tour guide. I'll be very evident as a tour guide with my bag on. So again, even though I'm
You're a brother-in-law. What are you talking about?
right. So at any rate,
Family function, okay?
I have enough. Like I'm also
Well, life.
I vape. So again, there'll be times where I'll be vaping that helps me keep it off. I know it's a weird thing, but if that thing touches my face, I start gagging, hyperventilating. It's been a bad deal these past year for me, trying to go through this stupid mask thing. But anyway, everybody comfortable with what I told you?
Yep.
I'm not going to be paying your tickets if you get one. You won't pay mine. Fair?
Yep.
All right. So we start here for a reason. This place used to be called Big John's Tavern. It is haunted. I don't know what they're turning it into now, but it used to be, just recently, it was called Cane Rum Bar. So, but Big John's Tavern, it was named after a football player, John Kennedy. I'm not a football guy. I had to memorize all this crap for you guys. Not to mention, I learned something new about Big John all the time because stuff comes up in the evidence that I don't know what it means until I figure it out. But anyway, Big John used to sit in the back of the bar. He would nod off to the bartender if the cadets that came over from the Citadel, if they weren't of age. So he'd tell them to put them off. So one night, two guys come in. He knows I'm not of age. He tells the bartender, cut him off. It's his bar. Get in trouble. Jail time. So anyway, they come back the next night and they try to steal the cash register. Well, they tussle. Shots were fired. John gets shot in the neck. Bullet hole lands in the wall. It is still here. It is said people that sit in the front of this bar start to not feel well. Dizzy, headache, queasiness, any kind of weird paranormal activity that can affect the human body. I bring this up on purpose. The first time somebody passed out on me on my tour on a nice cool night like this, I took CPR classes the next day. Luckily, every time after that, I've had a nurse on board. So, it does happen. If anybody,
She's a nurse!
No, I always have one. And I usually have one skeptic. One. So we got kind of two, because you did like the half hand, like not wanting to admit it, so I point him out all night. But at any rate, it's a big deal to me. So if somebody in your party's not feeling well, the slightest headache, you gotta let me know. I won't say that, I don't say this stuff to scare you guys. It is a literal health hazard to be doing this. You guys signed up for it. It's what this is. You have, I know it's going to happen to me, but I'm protected. I got stones and sage and all kinds of stuff all over your devices to make sure we're going to be safe. So, again, yep, I got them all over my bag. So I'm covered. I've taken stuff home. I won't lie. With this epilepsy, I'm the weak-minded one out of all of you. Even though I know more about all of your devices, the spirit world looks at my brain and says, oh, there's the weakling, and they're coming after me. I'm taking shit home. It's not fun. So, again, if you're not feeling well, you got to let me know. It's a big deal. So, next story will be a little bit happier. So some guy died during our big earthquake. That's happier, right? So, not us. Not us. That's what's happier about it. So we did have a big earthquake in 1868. So it's a big one for us because we don't get earthquakes. So a piece of the mantling above your heads also wraps around the front of the building. A piece of it fell off, struck somebody in the head, and killed them. Now, Paul, the previous owner of this bar, Cane Rum Bar, used to see shadows out here on East Bay Street. I don't have validation of that. I'm taking his word for it. So take that for what it's worth. This is part of the reason why I start here, is to give you guys that kind of health precaution. So you guys ready to go something?
Yes.
You guys tired of hearing me talk?
No.
Good.
Yeah.
We got another hour or so of this stuff. So yeah, when I say spirit box is up, it's literally a click button. Yeah.
You say.
See it now? See, it's literally toggle it. It's not a turn tile like that.
I'm glad you're a nurse. I'm basically triage.
random questions along the way, and I'm going to answer some of them for you now. We don't go inside buildings.
Ooh.
You getting some blips already?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll explain that in a second.
Literally right here.
We don't go inside buildings because, again, I'm here about honesty and truth. I'm actually trying to find things. So I'm not saying the jail tour is rigged. I'm just saying I don't want to give you guys that possibility of thought. I have nothing rigged in any of these places we're going to because we're going to be completely outside. The second thing is we're not going through an actual cemetery because you're walking through one. Charleston has had enough death, fires, tragedies, war. We're walking on graves the whole night. Cemeteries, if you're dead, are you going to hang out where you're buried?
No, I'm gonna go home.
Exactly.
Woo!
Look at you.
It got woo!
I picked the right person for the EMF. She's going to let us know for sure.
Yeah,
So-
you hear that sound.
So let me tell you guys what's going on here, and then we'll kind of dive into this. This is your practice area. So first and foremost, for you history buffs, everybody picture the Peninsula of Charleston. It was much skinnier back in the Revolutionary War. Ship rolls up behind me, shoots a cannonball, lands at the stop sign right past Crew Cafe, which also has an alleged haunting that I'm not sure I believe or not. But no deaths, no tragedies. I'm going to throw a little historical nuggets at you guys all night long. So I have to appease everybody, even the skeptics. So where are we now? The red barn lot where they keep the horses for your carriage rides. So the horses are still in there. Those of you with lasers, no lasers, none on that building whatsoever. So they can stay down in here. You will spook them. They will kick the walls and scare the shit out of all of us. Then I'll have to go home and change and delay your tour, and it's never fun. So, got the word chew. That's it. I don't think I've ever seen that word. But anyway, again, I talk to myself a lot. You guys have to interrupt me and say, Nick, snap out of it. We're all here watching. So this is also the same barn lot where they actually kept the horses that delivered milk to Charleston. So again, I'm giving you guys clues and data for things to listen to on your spirit boxes. We're going to start you guys off pretty simple with spirit boxes. I'm going to assume that nobody's ever used one, so excuse my layman terms. We're going to start with, what color is the barn? A nice simple question that's not yes or no.
I thought you said red.
He's asking.
That's how you're going to ask on your spirit box.
Sorry.
That's the question. It's okay. I know you got blinky lights and I
I know.
distracted you.
You gave her the wrong device.
Might have to switch that up.
It's going nuts.
I know. I see it. It's not every night, but when I do see it, it's there. So, when you don't get an answer after 20 or 30 seconds, you're going to ask the same question again. And then you're just going to, what color is the barn is a random question. I did that because it's a non-yes or no question. It's not, is the color of the barn red? Or is somebody here? Because if you get the word no, they're still here.
Right.
Okay?
No,
And the
we
reason
couldn't.
why I say away from yes or no questions is because if somebody here and they say the word houses, you think you heard yes. S and O are two of the most common phonetic sounds in our English language. That's why I stay away from those.
F.
After so many tries of not getting an answer, move on to another question. Also keep in mind, they're not in the box. You don't have to speak to them this way. So, it's literally a conversation as if this person's standing in front of you. Okay, you don't want to tell me what color the barn is? Tell me what's inside the barn. Now we're at a point we're listening for delivery, milk, horses, draft, because they're draft horses. Simple terms that they can come up with. So that's kind of how we're going to use our spirit boxes. Now the rest of the night, I'm not going to give you answers. Kind of like what color is the barn. Obviously we all know it's red. Unless somebody here is colorblind, then I'm sorry if I offended. But
They make glasses for that.
they do make glasses for that. So that's the kind of mentality with the spirit boxes. Lasers and camera team, literally, you're going to be side by side, straight down, maybe out to 5 feet in front of you, and then you're going to be taking pictures kind of through it. This is a dark area. Take as many pictures as you want. We're looking for something between the pen and the ground. That's why I say take it from here and not straight down.
Okay.
Much easier that way to analyze. You guys on your spirit box, you're going to be, when she gets excited for her blinky blinky Christmas tree lights,
It's
that's
going nuts. It's keep going orange.
try to find a red spot in here.
I was pretty
going a
red
little ready.
over.
Well, when I set you guys off to go walk around, that's where you're going to go find a red spot and try
what
to
do I do with
analyze
this
it.
thing?
You're
At
going to
that
turn the
point,
volume up, and
Up.
you're going to keep it up anyway, not too loud to spook the horses, but you're going to definitely have it loud enough so you can hear it.
Gotcha.
So again, that's when you're going to start your questions. As far as you guys go, I'm going to work with you guys first, but we're going to basically do a lap because you're going to learn a lot about thermodynamics because you're a mechanic. That's actually one of your tools anyway.
I use the thermal imaging quite frequently to look for hot spots in motors, rotors, all
Which
sorts
is
of
one of the reasons why I chose you to use it, because I assumed as much.
Yep.
So, you said you were a mechanic.
Yep.
It sounded like you were pretty good at it based on our conversation. Or you specialize in something, which is the word that I just got. So, that makes complete sense of why I gave it to Jeff. But I am going to work with you guys on how to use it for ghost hunting. So, questions, comments, or concerns, I am going to bounce around with all teams. So, if you guys look, I have you guys all set up in twos. So, we're going to stay within the lot. start asking your questions. I want you two to go wander off.
By yourself. What?
The two wandering in the lot. Stay in the lot. You guys are good to go. So you seem like you already get the stuff. So just turn it on, start asking the questions, and I'll catch up with you guys in a few. If you want to watch where their EMF is going, where it's getting kind of weird hot spots, that's also where you're going to want to keep your lasers too, so you can actually see something. So, but I'll catch up with you guys in a minute. Looks like I want to get the thermal team going first because it's running a video. All right, so with you guys, the yellow one is almost like a pocket item.
Okay.
So it's not super active. It's not one of those ones where you're literally going to be waving it around. But we're going to take this brick wall for an example. So Jeff, get me a reading on this wall, and you're going to shoot your red dot on the wall and tell me what you guys have. I'll show you guys the difference.
75, 74.8.
79.7 on dot.
Okay, so his should be anywhere between 4 to 6 degrees higher than yours in the event, because that's a surface temperature.
Yes.
Now, if something goes lower than what you have based on the surfaces, that obviously means his camera is seeing something that is not.
And this will go in between it.
Right. That's when you guys are going to figure that out.
Okay.
I don't calibrate them on purpose because that way you guys know yours is higher. If it drops below what you have, you're literally going to be shooting that thing on all types of surfaces. The metal, just stay away from the windows. You only have one dot. I think you can control it. The asphalt, brick, foliage, grass. Test all of those things, and you're literally going to be doing laps in here.
Okay.
Always try to keep a person in view. So go ahead and shoot the wall for me again. Now you got probably a red spot, right? So watch what happens when I come into view. See everything fluctuate?
Yep.
Now you can see an array of color.
Yes.
I want you to have an array of colors because it's much easier to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me show you this quick video so you guys kind of have a gist of what you're looking for. Bring it up. Sorry, it takes a second. Come on. Page. I posted it because it was that good. Like, holy shit, that's
something. That puts everybody on it.
So, people in view, you're going to see 2 living people go past the wall. You see them? They're living. Don't get excited yet. We need dead people. You're going to see 2 black heads coming the opposite way.
Oh.
That's what you're looking for.
Okay.
Now, I was called to that area. We didn't catch that in real time. I was called to that area because the couple said, I think it was a spirit box, they thought that they actually saw a shadow up in a corner. It's in the next location. But at any rate, that's basically what you're after. Those black moving spots.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're looking for something that's actually cooler than the area around us because that's showing us.
Right. Exactly.
It's almost like a low spot you're looking for.
And well, you know already that doesn't look in 3D. It's going to be those white outlines. So if something blue comes across somebody's face, obviously it's probably going to have a white outline around it because that thinks it's an object based on the temperature difference between my face and the cold spot.
Because it's going to break. Because thermo camos or cameras are actually designed to catch your eye for it. Like if I'm using it, for example, if I'm doing a brake rotor or something, I'm hitting it. I just drive the car, get it back. The cold spots on the rotor are low spots showing the warpage. That's how it would work for me.
People tell me. That works.
He's
That
on
works.
it.
All right. We gotta keep the person in view.
I reckon the easiest way to do this would be you stay in front of me and I track you.
Okay.
I'm an empath. Just let me know and I'll see it.
Yeah.
What temp are you getting?
I'm tracking 80 on the ground.
Alright. Got 76. Am I in it? Do I need to get in it?
Get forward more.
Did it get real cold right there?
I only dipped down to 74.
Okay.
Alright, left.
Do you like to go for
Go behind them.
Are you a man or
Well, that's a lady. That's a guy. Are you a man or a woman?
Really hot.
That's because of that light. And that's a white wall.
What are you getting?
Getting 78. Alright, go left. Let's just do a scan. The hardest part is keeping my hand away from the actual camera. Yep. Yep. It's going to be cooler on the metal wall because it's metal. Yep. Hmm. Okay. Yep. Yeah.
Questions on? Yeah, let me work with you guys. I know. You're not supposed to say, I make it work. It is amazing stuff. So, it's literally straight down. Okay, I'll go over it. Go ahead.
It spots water on the ground. Say again?
Oh, this gives you the diameter, doesn't it?
Mhm. 75.
What?
75.
This is giving me 81. 79?
Yep.
I just hit 79 right there.
Yeah.
Am I still in it?
Yeah. What are you running for a temp?
74, 78, 75.
That's accurate.
Right there was just 78.
That's because there's water on the ground. Oh my fucking stomach cooking.
What?
Yeah. I'll snap my finger. Fuck's the guy that? He's in that gap over there. I apologize to whoever has to edit this and myself looking out.
Well,
I live my life. I've heard myself curse under my breath at least 7 times. But, well, you've met me. So. Well, you haven't. She has.
Let's get everybody grouped up. Wrap up this location real quick. So let me just tell you guys what happened. Well, first off, did you guys hear anything specific other than stop when I was standing there with you?
Kind of like yes, no, different kind of things.
Phonetic languages. Okay.
Yeah.
So, anything weird on the cameras?
We
On
got a
temperature?
couple temp deviations, but it was definitely from cool spots from water being on the ground.
Okay. Fair enough. So let me tell you what happened. Go ahead.
We had something.
What else did you have? Don't tell
So
about our
you know
lady
how we
thing.
sold the lady thing.
Okay.
So yeah.
Literally just said don't say.
Well, we asked her what killed her, and she said it came through testosterone. So we asked, who was the guy who killed you? And she said, I'm not gonna say.
It's pretty awesome stuff, actually, and it's recordable.
It was pretty
So
clear.
we'll have it in the morning. So here's what happened, and the reason why I said I wanted to explain how the answer can go anywhere. So she was literally asking, Christina?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, I'm getting good. So Christina said, and I don't know why she was asking her EMF meter, but she asked if it was a man or a woman over there, and I get the word lady on my screen. So normally when we're asking questions, the answer can literally go anywhere. We have 4 spirit boxes running. 2, 3, 4. We also have 2 points of audio. So your camera, my audio. So again, 6 points of reference. It can go anywhere. I'm going to ask questions throughout the night that you guys aren't going to know about. So that way, if you turn around and you say, what's the number 7? I'm going to say, I'm going to ask how old your little boy was. You have the verification. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is all about verifying. Does everybody else have a good grip on their devices and how they operate and how you're going to work the rest of the night?
Yes.
Yes. So you know what's funny? I say work because I start my PhD program next year to study the paranormal, and you guys are collecting all of the data that's going to get me in. Holy shit, I will be a doctor of ghosts when I'm done. No, you're not getting paid or any credit.
Not even a reference of the book.
You get a cute little text, that's about it though.
Remember that was the testosterone.
I think that's the point where we're supposed to lag behind the group and kind of like track with them to link it up with Sizzle.
So you want to keep them invisible?
Because that's just kind of how funnels work. I mean, I know how to work it.
I know too. You tell me when there's a difference.
I know.
That's
All right, we're going to get
78.
everybody away from the only entrance exit in this place.
Come on, you don't want to get hit by a car?
What's going on in here?
That's fine.
So, another beautiful parking lot. Welcome.
Another graveyard.
Another graveyard, correct. So we also got the letter E, did we not?
Yes.
And the word lady. This is home of Eliza and Charles Pinckney. Their mansion was in the front. Eliza's garden was lined up here, and we are standing where the slave or servant quarters were. So let me tell you what happened here. Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles, so there's the second Charles. They also had a nephew named Charles. The son and the nephew, signers of our Constitution. Pretty cool shit for Charleston, but I hate politics and it's 2020. We're moving on. So, Eliza married Charles at a young age, which you can find out what age that was. I'm giving you clues to ask your spirit boxes and to find more information. So, Eliza married at a very young age to stay here in the United States. She did not want to go back to her father in England. Baked beans breakfast, by the way. This is where that occurred. Also where we had our little up in that corner. But anyway, so her dad thought that he was dying and she didn't want to go. So she got married. Dad got better and he started sending gifts over from England. One of those gifts happened to be the plant indigo. You guys have been driving around town seeing the word indigo everywhere, now you know why. Now, indigo has a very deep history with our Gullah culture. Those are the slaves that were brought over. So, Eliza's the one that made it profitable. Once our rice plantations went to shit, we needed something else as a cash crop to save Charleston and the colonies. Indigo was our ticket. She was also the businesswoman that sold it overseas. I'm talking 1700s where there's no such thing as a businesswoman. So Eliza was a pretty big deal for us. So here's a couple little weird facts you can find out about Eliza on your spirit boxes. These are the questions you're going to ask and try to find what the answers are. That's interesting. We'll talk about that later. So Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles. Way to go, Chuck. You screwed that one up. So Eliza goes by her maiden name, Eliza blank Pinckney, as does the first wife. So you can ask the maiden names of either one of those wives and see where the answer comes in. Okay? Eliza and Charles had 4 kids. Only one was a daughter. Try to find out what the daughter's name was. That's a 3-syllable name. I'll give you that one. You can ask what happened to the mansion. You can ask anything you want to about Eliza's death. I'm only giving you questions that I've had the answers to multiple times. Eliza's age when she died, how she died, where she buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. You can also do that one, right? That's interesting. And everybody's going Revolutionary Times, who was the president.
Wouldn't have any idea what it is.
So, again, I'm giving you great questions to ask. And again, this is my hotspot. This is, if I have a grand finale, this would be it. We're gonna do more, don't worry. Somebody else says this is it. I'm like, no, we got more. But this one is probably my most active. Now, Chatty, Kathy, Christina, I want you to literally turn around backwards and face that building for me. Hold your
What
EMF.
was exactly her name?
Eliza Pinckney.
Eliza Pinckney.
Now, I want you to hold your EMF up like you're gonna take a selfie.
Oh shit, look at that.
Now look at the blinking light on the building.
Oh.
You will have a pulse, and then the building will have a pulse.
Does
It
it
is-
always do that?
Not always. Just when I can see nice, good surges coming out of that light bulb like that, it's like, that's my barometer. We're
It's
gonna
a-
have a good time.
It's a signal coming.
Yes.
It's an electronic signal.
Right. So again, sometimes it's not on at all. Sometimes it's just on. And other nights, it blinks at different intervals. I don't think I've seen the same interval twice that I've been doing this. So again, your EMF in here is going to be pretty hot. I mean, you're already going all the way up to red. So I'm going to take E for Eliza in lady, since she asked male or female from the other spot. I'm going to send you guys off, kind of doing your thing like you did before.
Yep.
You guys, that's the corner where I showed the video.
Yeah,
I am
seen
going to
that.
show them that video just so that they have a gist of what you're looking for.
Yep.
Lasers in here can be sensitive to car alarms. So I have set off a few in my day, so please be mindful.
Don't point it at the car.
Yeah, don't put it on the car.
Cool.
Yeah.
I
I will
know
not
it's
do
cool.
that.
All right, so
And there's
I'm
no way to
going
shut
to
it off
send you
without
guys
getting
off.
the
I'm
hood.
going to show you the video I showed them earlier, so that way you guys can see where I caught here a few weeks ago. It was up in that corner, just so you guys can take a look at that wall right there.
You got 71?
So this video.
Let me know if you get like a weird.
Homies are just coming out.
You got 75?
I have hell trying to not point this thing at the ground because of the angle of the actual thing.
Do you see anything? I just got 71 right there. It might be the third.
That's because of the gravel. But yes, I'm getting that.
Do you need to get in the walkway?
Yeah. That wall has decent heat, so it was still staying with the deviation. But I'm getting 85 off the wall.
Yeah.
This is that corner you was talking about.
What path are you getting on the ground?
76.
Yeah, 71. 73.
That's fairly normal deviation because I don't believe that ambience
78 on the wall.
roughly. Try and aim it back to where we started. Back that way. Yep. I'm not seeing big dips yet. Yep. Not a. Yep. You're in a wet spot. Tracking. I got 81 on the wall. Yeah. But I think that's the kitchen. Because it's a white wall, so it's going to pick up heat better. It's calibrating. No, I got 74.
I got 69.
That's senior laser, because I'm more watching for the big drops.
What's this number?
Huh?
The top number.
That's the ambient.
What does that mean?
That means that's like the average pair.
Okay. The bottom number is what?
Yeah, correct. My car was just parked there like 20 minutes ago.
It was.
There's a diaper there. Look at that. Hmm? There was a car here. Remember when we were over in that parking lot? All those cars that came out of here? Cars sitting running on pavement. Pavement absorbs the heat because it's a black. And asphalt's really good at absorbing heat.
I'm averaging about.
Yeah. I apologize for my crappy camera holding. I'm talking to the thing. I keep it entertaining for the monologue with my annoying ass voice.
Anything weird out of you guys?
I got
I'm-
a weird hot over there. It jumped up, but we don't know if it's because cars were parked
I
there.
seen cars in those two spots. That's what it was, because they were sitting there idling, doing something.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
That wall was just really hot.
Yeah. But that car also did, dude. You got to think the hot walls are going to be hotter because it's picking up all the heat off the cars
I
coming
know,
by.
but it's spiked up.
Correct. Not here. Not even in car. So that's how far away.
Aim at that third spot. I got a cold spot by that diaper. What do you got?
74.
Alright, go in between me. I'm going to stay here. Hit it with the ambient. 5014. All right.
This is the highest temperature bed
Right there.
where I'm standing.
I got about 83.
I got 78 and this says 85.
The laser's going to be more accurate.
The grass goes from 70 and this goes to 78. What do you make on the wall up?
86.
You're at 80.
All right. Watch out for the entrance.
This thing's saying 87, so that's really hot.
So you got that light beat on it from the street too.
Alright, so usually I kind of do a spear box session with the temp team, just because you guys are the only ones without any kind of listening. And again, I put that thing up on my TV in the morning, so if anything actually comes through. We are getting some stuff coming through on the other ones, so let's just kind of see what we can capture. They're going after Eliza. Is there anything specific you guys want to know? Anything piqued your interest?
I've had a couple low spots hit over here by where we were first standing. But that was about it. But it'd be like, it would kind of blink through, but I wasn't really focusing if there was a car driving by or not either.
I did get a couple of names that could have been slave names.
Yeah.
So we had Elijah and Christian come up. Which again, I don't have that list. I've looked for it.
Yeah. Can't
Not
find
there.
nothing on there.
Can't find it anywhere.
wasn't
So again,
documented.
when I see that, I'm like, damn it, I can't verify it, but I can make
It's
an assumption
something
if I
that
want.
piques it.
But we can actually, let's go after something I can actually verify. Something easy, because I'm not getting much out of what I'm hearing. So Eliza, if you're hanging out over here, why don't you tell me what happened to the mansion? Eliza, tell us what happened to the house. It blew up. How did it blow up? And that comes up often. It blew up.
And that's when you would assume that cannon that went through.
What's that?
Ship. And that's when you would assume the cannon through the ship.
No. This was actually a different kind of explosion. Eliza, how did the house blow up? Charles, what about you? Do you want to tell us what happened to the house? Nobody's wanting to answer me.
Maybe they're busy with some of the other teams.
Alright, let's go meet up and see what everybody captured. I know they got stuff, you guys got weird stuff.
I would stand back from the group because you're smoking.
No, let's wait till everybody. Come on over. We're gonna gather everybody up. I forgot his name. Laura. Yes, they're gathering something.
I'll put it right in.
Kind of collaborate for a second, like what we did with the last place. See what we actually. You guys said you had some weird spots in the back.
Yeah, right where that diaper was, it always jumps up really high.
Okay, so thermodynamics can also work in reverse.
Yep.
So if you capture something growing in heat, that means there's a cold spot growing nearby. The growing in heat is just as much of evidence to me as the cold spot. So again, when it grows very quickly, that's a big deal to me.
It's
So
like, it goes from like 70 to 80 real quick. It's like a big.
I was going to say, usually a 10 to 15 degree jump is when I get excited, up or down. So that's cool. If you guys caught it on film, then I'll be able to watch it. So what did we hear on your end? Because they have lots of weird chatter.
Legit just screamed Harriet. And then I want to say it said either like Fleetwood or Wilson. As far as the maiden name, I couldn't quite make it out. I don't know.
So Harriet is correct. That is the daughter's name. So good job on that find. Did you hear that as well?
I heard something. When she isn't pointing the speaker right at me, it's hard to hear what else.
So you're doing a bad job.
Clear.
All right, let's get to your hooker
No, it
theory.
literally did say that though, right? when we were
pretty
walking
sure
out.
she's a
when
hoe.
you were on the phone, me, Mom, and Joey went over here, and I asked, how many lovers did you have? And it goes, so many.
Well, then when we came over here, what'd she say?
Oh, where was your lover? And it said Toronto or something.
Something.
At least they gave you a location. So, and that means you're listening, which is good. So we did take lots of pictures. We have something to look for on the thermal. I didn't get much on mine. I did get a couple of names that could have been the servants' names, but I can't verify that. So I did
We
get
were asking the
What's your
what
favorite
was your favorite slave and whatever.
I got Christian and Elijah.
There you go.
There you go.
So there we go. Again, I can't verify it, but we're gonna take kind of an assumption on that one. But that's good.
That was at the very end, though.
That was actually at the beginning when I got those.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you were asking as we were walking. Yeah, you were. Yeah, were you?
No, probably not. It was interesting.
So the answers to the questions: Eliza died at the age of 70. She got married at the age of 22, which is also her birthday in December.
We heard
We did
2.
hear 22. Well, something 2 over
I
there.
heard it 2 as well, but I wait for the full 22. Eliza, she died of breast cancer in Philadelphia, and it's also where she's buried, where George Washington was a pallbearer. So literally, our first president was a pallbearer at this woman's funeral. I almost said wedding. So, Eliza Lucas Pinckney is the one that planted our indigo crops, and Eliza Lamb Pinckney was the first Eliza. So, Lamb and Lucas were the terms we were looking for there. Nobody wins $50,000. So, I know it sounds like I'm giving a game show out. My daughter was home this weekend. Can you all tell? We watched Idiot Test. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that show, but it's absolutely hysterical. My daughter's like looking at things like this on the TV. I'm like, it's right there! The cockroach is the meatiest thing on the vegan menu. So anyway, what other questions? Oh, the mansion caught fire up in that corner. So if you guys noticed, I pulled Laura, I'm sorry, I lost your name again, buddy. Adam? Laura and Adam out of the corner where at the barn, which is where things usually attach themselves to me. So for some reason she was drawn to it. I got her out pretty quickly. Hopefully she's good. You feel okay? She also went straight up to the corner where the fire was. So she kind of has that sense of where are my hot spots. So she waited till I left and then went over, which was interesting. What else did I ask? So the word October normally shows up twice for me, and that's usually Charles, because he was born in October, which his birthday's tomorrow, and he died in October. So it shows up twice, and so I know it's him. He doesn't always give me his name, but he will give me little tidbits that says, hey, I'm here too. I want some recognition. He was a senator. Who cares? Politics. I don't care. But if I can verify it, that's cool. Thomas Pinckney, one of the sons, his birthday was on the 23rd, and the whole night, everything I did in here that night was all wrapped around Thomas. And the funny thing about that was he was a soldier in the Battle of Camden, and I had somebody book late. Like call me up, and they couldn't book because it was right past the time. And his name was Thomas, and he brought his son Camden. Yeah, no shit, right? Crazy stuff. Love this job. It's awesome. So, love putting clues together. Guys, we're going to walk up East Bay Street about 4 blocks up to Lodge Alley. So I definitely want you guys listening to your spirit boxes. They're listening for names, but I'm not going to tell you which names, and I'll explain when we get there. So whatever names you get, we'll see what happens. Definitely a no laser zone. You want to stop and take pictures of the customs house, the market, whatever touristy stuff you feel like taking of. But we're also going to be in an area where you're still going to need to be super still with those pictures, because there's no flash. The flash allows that motion. No flash, you're going to be as still as possible. What else do we have going on? Keep filming. Definitely no lasers. Your EMF is going to go crazy on East Bay Street because of the parking meters. You can ignore it. So don't get excited and all crazy.
It's going crazy right
showing all the strangers and tourists like, look at our EMF, it's going nuts. Because it's a parking meter that you're standing on. Our electrical lines for our crosswalks and parking meters are underneath the sidewalks. It's strong enough to touch the EMF. So we're definitely going to be walking through a mask up area unless you're a smoker. There are restaurants we're going to be passing their dine outside. So you guys all ready to go to our next location?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's do this.
I got a question.
Yes.
So you said listen for names, so we're not asking any questions. We're just literally just listening to it.
They will come out. That's almost a promise.
Get it on?
There's a buffalo on. What were we just talking about?
Oh shit.
Oh, that was you guys.
What was it?
It's almost like a verification of their names. It's like they're telling us, but yeah, that's us. We're hanging out. We're gonna go to right. Better than the jail tour that
All the homeless people. If you got a blooper section, that'd be good.
It's an interesting job I have.
Hey,
Now I said I was gonna keep it PG, so that ain't me.
And I record all the audio. That's great.
What?
it's a sab. I didn't expect to hear a loud sab, because normally they break down within 10 feet. Kind of get over there. I feel like that's a switch.
Strikeouts to start the fifth inning and 6 on the night for the veteran left-hander.
And as far as tourists go, I don't work for a big company. It's just me and nobody else in the area does gadgets and gizmos.
That's what turned her on. So I think what we were going to do is we were going to do that otherwise.
I was like, oh wait.
And then she's like, oh, wait a minute. I get the toy.
Yeah.
But they're just super in contact.
Once you have fun, you know, doing something isn't a scary thing. So it doesn't have to be really scary. fine, daytime. And nighttime things for you guys. It's ambiance, that's all it is. Ghosts don't care. We're out anyway.
You gotta take this Chinese to bed. All you can eat.
My picture taker, Debbie. So when we get to 5 hours, it should be empty. So we can go down there. When we go ahead and grab 2 pictures going down the path. So we'll go over that. So we're gonna make a right here, but Debbie's gonna take some pictures first. Okay. Then Debbie's done.
Thank you.
Perfect. See, I pick all the weird spots for you guys.
Oh, this is perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome. Hey, watch your steps, they're uneven.
Oh.
Anna, you okay? You're the one I was worried about.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Real quiet all of a sudden. That's freaking me out now.
Yeah, good thing against bellies.
Can we get this easy? Or are you getting
When we started, kind of give you the gist of what's going on down here. Alright, let's cut those spirit boxes. Did we hear anything along the way?
I feel like I heard something late.
Lee?
But that was it. Yeah.
Okay, what about you guys? Any names? I know we were chatting a little bit.
Yeah, I know I heard something, but I don't know quite what it was.
Yeah. So the reason why I asked that is because you guys are standing in Lodge Alley, which used to be a street in Charleston. This is as wide as it was, and people used to live here. So I have the full list of residents of every person that's ever lived on this street. The names Benjamin and John usually show up together. Benjamin comes up more prominently, and I usually get it in either Ben or Benjamin. Both of those gentlemen were 2 out of the 4 residents that lived here in 1801. So these were shotgun houses. I mean, they were very small. Shoot a bullet through the front, it goes out the back. This is a weird place. I used to tell my investigations when I used to work with a psychic, and then all of a sudden I started learning more and more about this place. It was just a little nuts. This is also where the Masons used to meet. So before it was residents, these 2 buildings weren't here. This would be an open area for the Masons to come down and talk business. Now the clay bricks you guys just walked on, handmade, hand laid, none of them are the same size, shape, or spaced evenly. So if you kind of take a look at those. Also, Peninsula was skinnier. Those buildings down there were not there, which means the smell of low tide came right through here. This would not have been a very pleasant place to live. So they did do an archaeological dig in between the clay bricks, like very carefully. They found some of their tools, some of their silverware, little pieces of their clothing. That's how they were able to determine that these people were lower class. So when I say we're listening for names, it's usually I have their name, their occupation, and the year that they lived here. That's all I got. It's not a census report. So there's no ages, there's no history about these people. Most of the names are abbreviated. So Thomas looks like THOS period. You know, it's a very brief list. But if you guys didn't hear much, I didn't get anything on mine either. I will tell you that we did get the word slave as we were leaving the Pinckney Mansion site. So it's almost like a verification that the names Christian and Elijah belong to slaves. So I'm going to take it. It's almost like they were directing us. Oh, you're good. So, I'm trying to think. When we are leaving here, we definitely want 2 pictures. You're going to the last one out, so the first one in now. Take 2 pictures going the opposite way. I do get a lot of weird light anomalies. How you doing, last one? Good. I get a lot of weird light anomalies down here. There's a lot of weird lights that plays tricks on us, but I do get a green orb that shows up here all the time. And it shows up in random places. I even had a customer send me a random video where the green orb at the end of the alley was moving around and then whisked away into the moonlight. So it was really odd, same color. So again, doesn't matter what camera it comes from, cell phone, my digital camera, somebody else's camera, I get it all the time. So again, just a really cool place. Try to line you guys up execution style in a nice dark alley so you guys get a little worried. But again, I've been making y'all chuckle all night, so I didn't think you guys got that vibe from me. So we're definitely going to keep filming. I have caught some weird shadows with that as well. When we do leave this alley, we're going to be in a residential area. So that is a hotel behind you. Every hotel in Charleston has its own ghost story. They don't give me free rooms to verify. So I'm going to knock on doors again in January. Now that Stories in a Cemetery is much bigger, and hopefully they'll want to be on the podcast so I can verify it or debunk it. Because I posted.
Yeah. We're on the ground floor.
Really?
Yeah. Come on and let us know if there's ghosts.
So at the top of
Maybe
your,
in the morning, not at night. 'Cause
now,
I need to sleep.
in the top of your data page, guys, all of the apps that I use and all of the devices you guys are holding, there's a description for every one of them. There's free versions of all these apps. If you guys get something weird out of your room, I'll definitely come down. So if you want to download these apps, well, I'm not saying tonight. I'm saying anytime.
No, I mean, like, I don't want to be scared crapless to not sleep all night.
You'll be fine. Again, nobody's ever been touched on my tours. There's no 3 scratches on somebody's back. I'm not Zach Bagan. I'm not making shit up for you. You want to know if something's going on there, you can go and verify. I had one of my guests last night that they were staying here at the Lodge Alley Inn. It's like, test your room. I texted them this morning. They said, yeah, there's nothing going on here. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, it's supposed to be room 304. You're in like 102 or whatever it was. Something pretty far away from it. Like, you had room 304, which is where the rumor is, then I'd come. But if you guys have something weird at the venue, yeah, I'd love to know. So, let's walk through this alley and go check out the next one. Gather some pictures, nice slow video. You can listen to your spirit boxes. Keep them at an audible to you guys level because we're going to be going by some houses. I got run.
Oh, you. Here, hold on.
What do you get?
76.
What about 72?
That's weird. When we were stopped back there, this is all like constantly on orange, but this whole best of the way is just green.
So when I get anything down here, it's usually by Magnolia Restaurant because it's coming from the restaurant with their kitchen. But it's usually pretty dead down here. So if I do get something, it's exciting.
Yeah, there's nothing the whole way down.
Yeah. It's usually pretty exciting if I get something down here. So you're giving it a minute to see if she captures anything. It's okay. Give her a minute. It's funny, it's like this isn't normally like a stop. Like you guys seen it was like less than 5 minutes. Because I know that the security guy likes to come through and we can't block it and this, that, and the other. But I get teams that literally want to hang out in here for 15 minutes. I'm like, guys, we got 2 more locations. Like, I'd like to see what the wife looks like this week. I'm like, let's go. Capture anything?
There's a couple things, but
What do you hear?
I hear it. Now turn, look.
Yes.
In your forehead?
Anything weird down there from you guys?
Not yet.
So I had a shadow picture come up, and then I had a different temperature come up in the form of a person, but it was in a colder sense than what the wall was, which is odd.
Yeah.
It was all one solid color, which normally our clothing and hair and everything else would make it multicolored. It was just weird.
In there, just now?
No, not just now. I mean, again, I'm always going to tell you like what I find in certain places. So, but like this down here, shadows all the time, that green orb, the thing on the thermal imaging camera, I still can't figure it out. Just looking at it's weird.
Drunk people coming up the road.
All right, let's go across the street. See what we got going on over here.
Is that a dry cleaner?
That's actually a great spot right here. Get the steeple and the moon.
Oh yeah.
If I get out the way.
That's going up as an advertisement later.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a great shot.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we're about to go through the alley. I told the story out here because it is a very, very popular ghost tour stop. So this way we don't get interrupted. We do things a little bit differently than your normal ghost tours, right? With the tools and gadgets, we're gonna be able to verify what's actually going on there. So this place used to be called Dueler's Alley, as in take 20 paces, turn and shoot kind of duels. So before that, it was called Cow Alley because this is where they kept all the livestock for Charleston. So if we get the word cow, which pops up often over here, now we know why. So the story is from the Dueler's Alley time period. I know it's a funny name, Cow Alley. Your shirt's purple. Wow, we can see it.
It is purple.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was black the entire time.
I did
Yeah,
too.
yep.
That's why I turned. I'm like, wow, this shirt's purple. Anyway, and if the word purple comes up, I didn't do it.
Now we know.
So there was a doctor that moved down here from Rhode Island. Keep those initials in mind, R.I., Rhode Island, because it comes up several times. So his name is Joseph Brownback. He moved down here because he was supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. The attorney handling the money said, the two of you aren't getting married, send the doctor away to prove that he's not just after your money. So the doctor comes to Charleston. The coachman that brings him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. Kind of a jerk move. So, somebody walking by named Ralph Isaacs, initials R.I., I never know which one it's referring to when it does show up, but he says, you don't want to stay here, let me take you somewhere else. He takes him to 59 Church Street, about a mile and a half from here. The two become friends, but the doctor's practice starts to take off. He's making lots of money, which means Amanda's going to be moving down soon. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. You can Google that and you get the very long, detailed version of this story. I'm just giving you enough for your tools and gadgets. So anyway, Ralph and the doctor used to go see plays together, but because the doctor was part of a different society, sat in a different area of the theater. It's kind of like going to see the movies and you can't sit next to your friends because they make more money than you. They get better seats. So they used to talk about these plays on the way back to their house. One night they go see Richard III. They start talking about the new actress that was in town. Ralph loved her. I'm sorry, the doctor loved her. Ralph did not. They start arguing about her, and then it turned into an insult party on the fiancé back home. The two get pissed off at each other. They go their separate ways. Now Ralph is from Charleston, which means he has ties. He called the newspaper up and said, I want to put an ad in the paper. He told the city of Charleston what a disgrace the doctor was to the city of Charleston. Takes all of our money, he's not from here, he's not one of us, yada yada yada. The doctor rebuttals with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. Let's go settle this right now. So, normally when you think of a duel, what happens?
Someone dies.
Someone dies, that's what you think of. Normally, is an act of bravery. And the bullets are normally shot into the ground. But, when somebody did die, they would go through that doorway. Can everybody see the break in the far wall?
Yep.
That would go through the courtyard over to the cemetery at St. Philip's. They would drop it into the body into a pre-dug grave and go celebrate the winner. But here's what happened with the doctor. So they come down, take the 20 paces, turn, the doctor points his gun in the air, and he shoots. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to make a point. Being an ass. Fix it. However, Ralph takes 2 shots on the doctor below the knees. That's the rumor. I don't know how 2 shots were shot back in the 1700s. You had to load that stuff pretty quick to get to. But anyway, it takes 2 shots, the doctor drops. His friends pick him up, carry him not through the gate, but to his house, 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later. So what's the moral of the story? Don't get engaged to someone named Amanda. Okay, you all laugh, you're all paying attention. Good. I know this is like the longest story out of everything. If you were to take another ghost story, you'd still be standing here hearing about Ralph was an attorney, yada yada yada. Anyway, I'm not gonna keep dogging on all the tours. So they say as you walk through here, you can hear the whistles of the doctor. I've caught it twice where I can't debunk it because we do have a lot of hecklers in town. They give us there's a fake one for your audio. So you're gonna turn it up on your drives home, and you're gonna listen to that nice faint whistle in the background. It is a little breezy tonight, but I don't think anything's gonna be causing a whistle. And again, 1.5 years, I've only caught I think 2 that I can't debunk. They also say you can hear gunshots. I haven't caught any gunshots yet, being honest with you. Little piece of history of this location. The bricks we're gonna walk on the ground, are gonna get older as we keep going. These up here were refreshed in the 1990s, so they're a lot smoother, sharper edges. Down at the end, we have sun-dried bricks from slave kids. They literally turn those bricks every hour until they were dry. They are not fired bricks. We have their fingerprints in there, 1 full handprint. It's not a proud moment for Charleston, but it does show how far we've come. The handprint, the thumb, goes into the next brick. That's the interesting thing, because I love to put pieces of stories together, right? So think about that for a second. That kid put that brick in wet, next to another somewhat wet brick, and slammed his hand into it. Kind of a screw you, I don't want to do this shit anymore. So sorry about the language. Is it too harsh for anybody? All right, I didn't think so. Nobody said anything. I know, sorry. You'll get over it. Well, screw you! But I'll show it off, but again, we're going to be outside somebody's house because their address is Philadelphia Alley. And this is the most gorgeous spot in all of Charleston. I don't care what anybody says. This is definitely picture time. Have a great time in this alley. Listen to your spirit boxes. I will stay away from the spirit boxes so you have a clear audio. Mine will stay off. I'll just be watching the list as it comes up. So that's how this is going to roll. If you guys want to check out the gate, get some pictures of it, I don't get activity from there. Again, dead people don't hang out where they hang out where their tragedy was. The activity is going to be down there, not at the gate. So again, that's what we get. The handprint, no activity whatsoever. Don't even bother trying. I've seen it thousands of times. There's no activity. But again, with the handprint, I'll point it out with my toe. We'll have to continue walking pretty quickly. If you want pictures of it, have your cameras ready. We will make a left outside of the alley onto Queen Street. So that's kind of how this is going to go in here. Is everybody on the gist and on the skinny of what we got?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do this. Oh, the gate's open. I got to get you a creepy sound effect. Hang on. Oh,
Creep.
yeah, creepy's really nice when you open. I didn't go that much tonight.
Somebody must have deeded over the weekend.
Yeah, I had to use it a lot. So yeah, the gate's to the right. I'm gonna actually make a left.
I'm having fun.
Son of a bitch.
You're doing a fine job.
I'm going that way.
Oh, I'm going this way.
I thought we were
You guys
going
want to check
that
out the
way.
gate? I'm actually going to continue moving this way. But if you, again, I just like for you guys to at least see the gate and know where it's at, because not all tours talk about it. I think I'm the only tour that talks about it. And this is like this alley is never empty. So if you guys want pictures of this gorgeous alley, it's gorgeous day or night. It doesn't matter. So just tell me to get the hell out of your picture and I'll stop. You guys got like all this weird portfolio wallet cases, like
There. Okay. You're totally in the way.
I don't think she's in pictures. She's fine.
No, you're fine.
Big flag though.
If you are, you're pretty good fine.
So crop you out.
Right, I can just swap you out.
That's 71.
I got a low battery alert.
You got a low battery alert?
Yeah, it said it on the top of it. It's about half. It said up here it was like low charge.
Oh, that's this is a great picture spot too, because if you line it up correctly, you can have the plaque directly underneath the steeple by standing against this door. So, again, I'll do the touristy stuff for you too. I'll get out of the way. You see how your phone is making the EMF go off?
To get it
Perfect
away
example. And the footlight players, just so you guys know who they are, this is the actor studio for all of our theaters in town. So all of their equipment is still on, so you might actually get a little blip as we walk through here. And sometimes they do like gala meetings, and I walk through their red carpets with their buffets out here and stuff. I'm like, come on guys, let's go, it's free food.
Make sure you wipe your feet. Don't freak out, it's motion sense light.
Seeing the fingerprints that are out back there. LORA, Adam.
Yeah, they're tracking.
I want to make sure they get a gist. But, yeah, I'll let you guys continue walking so I can kind of show them. The handprint is going to be towards the right middle part, towards the end. It's like right outside that window with the black shutters, if you guys wanted to see that.
About 71, 72.
Is that what he's talking about right here? Yeah, where it's right here.
That's
Right.
Nope. Keep going.
Is that that one? Oh, that's another one.
Can't miss it. It's that one. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Oh. What one?
Come on, man.
Right here. Oh, the side. Okay, I see sideways. There you go.
Yeah, normal. 72. About 72.
One last building to check out. Adam, while they're checking things out, should we get this? Anything weird on the spirit box through there?
Mine didn't do much. No.
You have an EMF meter. Right?
Whatever it was.
Anything weird on your spirit box back there?
I heard a couple things. Like I heard his voice back in the alley.
Okay. It's weird because I got the word boy as we were coming out of Lodge Alley.
It's definitely a boy.
Interesting. I don't know what this car's doing.
I think they think we're trying to cross the street.
No, we're not. So we're going to take a look at the Wagner building, which is that brick building right there. So that building used to be part of our cotton industry. It was actually a warehouse in the back, and then the offices for it were in the front. What is this car doing?
Call the cop on us.
I'm technically in an area where I shouldn't be stopping, to be honest. So I'm just wondering if he's turning me in. Alright. So let's actually go move to the other side because we're going to be talking about that building anyway. Let's go ahead and cross the lines.
I don't think they're turning it in. They're from Wisconsin.
Fair enough.
Well, that's even worse.
Don't know where they're going.
Yeah, probably not. Thank you for moving.
I'm gonna go when they get
So again, cotton warehouse here in the back, offices in the front, and it's condos now, and it's turning the front into a wedding reception area. But the place is haunted as hell, so good luck to those weddings. I know, right? Cursed. So, the last guy who had this as a cotton warehouse, his name was George Poirier. George inherited the business from his dad. Silver spoon kid, no clue what he was doing. Got himself into a bunch of debt and blew through his inheritance from his dead dad. So, he decides he needs to get out of the cotton industry. He also had the boll weevil in town. It's a bug that eats cotton. So, I usually have to describe that, especially if I got a little kid. Just a habit. So, anyway. I know. It's somewhat scripted, guys, but gotta give me a break. So, anyway, he's got to get out. He's screwed. He doesn't want to keep the boll weevil here in America, so he sells it to the British. Give him a cheaper price. It's not enough to pay off all his debt, but he'll take it. At least he can get out of the business. Okay, we're good. So, our thermal imaging camera cannot see through windows. It looks at it as an object. Remember, it only sees temperature. So what are we looking for? We're looking for those blue windows to turn darker blue or black. He's going to give us a nice, cool, steady on the windows where I say where it actually happened, and see if anything does contribute to that. We also, there's a peak at the very top of the building in the front. It's covered in a white stone, and then there's a half moon stone inlaid into the brick 5 feet below that. At times, with the thermal imaging gun, we can get up to a 30-degree difference, which means we probably had some really high activity on the spirit boxes, which is where I need to focus. So we're going to test that when we get to the front, just you and I. I get another ghost that kind of tags along. So 2 blocks away from where we came out of Philadelphia Alley is Poogan's porch. So you may have eaten there already. So Poogan is a dog. No, we're not getting the dog to actually come through. We're waiting for Zoe St. Amand. She was the owner of the house, and that's where she lived before it was a restaurant. Zoe has a French descent, so she was part of, her ancestors were part of the big Huguenots groups that came down here. That's French, religious kind of stuff. But anyway, so we do get the word French. We do get her name. Zoe is spelled Z-O-E. Comes up on my spirit box probably twice a month as Z-O-E whenever I'm at this building. Never shows up anywhere else, which is very odd. Restaurant doesn't normally come through. If you ask her where her house looks like now, you'll get words like yellow, food, spoon, fork, very simple terms. They're going to come out that way. She was also a school teacher, so the words teach will come through as well. I don't know what grade or whatever age group she had. Again, same time period as George, we're talking mid to late 1800s. She died in, I want to say in like 1922 or something. Oh, her sister Elizabeth lived with her. So that's another name that will pop up from time to time. So I don't know, this place is a hit or miss. Sometimes it's dead on and we get everybody. Sometimes it's dead as a doornail, no pun intended. So this is a weird last stop, but it is a fun stop because you can see at every location we had different devices that we used. Spirit boxes were their main thing, but there were times where there was no laser. Sorry, you're out of the game, buddy. Told you. Camera, we definitely want some pictures of that second story. It does start on the curve. So if you guys want to cross streets and whatever you want to do to get a better angle, do what you will. I'll be talking with everybody and listening to Ask Alice is what I got. We don't have an Alice on this story. Sorry.
Have you gotten a deep male voice here? Because they got one, right?
So here's what I'll tell you about. Was it on your spirit box?
Yeah.
I don't care about gender when it comes to the spirit boxes.
Okay.
Those are meant, like I told you guys before, like Bumblebee from Transformers. He could be John Wayne or he could be Elizabeth Taylor. It didn't matter. So that's kind of how that went. I look for the message, especially because I just write them down. I don't put male or whatever. I put the location and then where, you know, with the message. But again, deep male voice, doesn't matter. What else do we have? I think that's about it. You guys can ask me anything once we're off the air. If you want to ask me darker questions, by all means, I try to keep this family friendly. People do listen to this besides y'all, believe it or not. That's how I advertise. So once we're off the air, by all means, ask me anything you'd like to. But I know most of you are going to be done because you're right there across the street. So, all right, let's go check out and see what we got. Spirit box is up. Sydney.
Yeah. Out of your fucking mind.
Get out the road. Oh, we were just over here.
About 72.
Thought I heard something happen.
Started with this window and wraps it onto the next two on the second story.
Okay.
You and I, we're gonna test this Debbie's second story window right above here, and then the two on this side on the front.
Okay.
Derek has it or here.
Very, 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 very.
Very, very top.
Yes.
Very top. Very
Get hit by a car, avenge me. What state? What state? Ah, damn. I thought it was a South Carolina one because they couldn't fucking drive. Yeah, it's a thing.
They had cold spots in here that they couldn't explain, so they every place that's been in here has been haunted. Anything weird with your camera?
I seen like almost a black spot in that far window and that.
Okay.
Not even the second one on the first. But I didn't see anything of these when I walked across.
Adam, did you see anything weird in your camera when you were...
Or did it malfunction?
Yeah, did it malfunction at all? No. Okay. Because that's what came up once you started taking a picture.
No camera?
No camera.
Yep, no camera.
So we'll see what happened with Debbie's when she's done. I don't know if anybody else is taking pictures.
Which one? Because I took several.
Wow, that's a great picture.
Yeah.
That's a really good picture. What kind of phone you got?
It's a Google Pixel 2.
Oh, that's what my wife has. So my wife, that's what she does for a living. Like her day job is, she works at Best Buy. She's the cell phone manager. So when somebody sends me pictures and it has something in it, I need to know what kind of phone it is so she can analyze the camera because she knows them all.
Yeah.
Because that's what her degrees are in, is in photography. So if it says, oh, he has a Note 10 Plus, that's why it did that, because of the weird shadowing. Or it's an iPhone. That's usually her excuse. It's an iPhone.
It's a good
You're
one.
pretty much off limits too with that guy because of the crosswalk.
Yeah.
You have to stand close up here.
When I was over there,
Anything weird happening with your camera?
Yeah. We were just sitting there talking about it.
Just checking with everybody when you see what pictures you grab. You can take a picture of, okay?
But I did get it on this side.
What?
Oh.
Lost too.
Bodies.
That blue light, that should, that's almost purple at the edge.
I know where they are.
It's
They want me to do
into the shirt. I did it several times before I even took it.
It's the computer.
So,
But I don't know if it was something from the room. I was still
so what light would have made it make go
Well,
blue?
that's what I couldn't figure out.
That's crazy.
The theory of being
Yeah, but that's purple. See on the edge, it turns into blue. So I'll have to definitely lighten this. You guys will get the originals too. Look at the blue streak.
That's crazy.
I got a nice orb too. Like pulsing.
Did you?
And
What kind of phone are you
valley.
using?
Samsung.
Okay.
So I got that nice one. I don't know if that's
Can you
from
get
that.
closer to that?
Huh.
That's light bouncing off the leaf.
Okay. Just checking. Because it
I
was
didn't
right
get
here
anything
too.
weird on
So I
Yep.
think it's from that light.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that was it.
I didn't get anything weird.
Your phone takes nice cameras too.
I was trying to get that creepy window. See if
There you go, you
anything
got it.
creepy was in there. but
Crop it out.
There's that.
That was about it.
Okay.
That would go. It's probably just a leaf like can't hurt. You might know.
Cool. But I'll take that.
But that's about the same spot
That's
that
for
hers
sure.
was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's about the only weird thing. Is that random blue dot in the center.
That's what I catch when I'm in Lodge Alley.
Yep, that's the only random thing.
So I'll take that picture if you want to send it to me. We'll add it to your guys' list. Did you guys see the blue streaks you caught? We have no idea where the hell that came from. So we'll
And I
take-
don't think, you can look, but I don't think there's anything in that. I don't see anything.
No.
Yeah.
So what I do, I don't put any filters on anything. I literally just do the lighting 3, 4, 5 times. So you might see a picture where I'm taking, like looking at these, and I just keep taking the next one and lightening it to the max. So I can see in the windows, look at the shadows that are in there, see if it makes out anything. You'll get all of those where you're going to see my work. So, but you guys did awesome. You guys it looks like everybody had fun. So again, when I hear laughter, I'm like, okay, they're hip. They're on board. So I'm going to go ahead and start collecting devices, questions, comments.